right. Welcome, everybody. It is Wednesday, July 12th. This is our regular board meeting. We do have a change to the agenda. Under old business, we will be tabling the first three items: set the public hearing for amending chapter 9, set public hearing for chapter 70, and set public hearing for proposed zoning update law. We need to table that. Okay, all right. First item on the agenda is public comment. This is the time for the board to listen, and we ask that you come to the podium if you're interested in sharing with us. Identify yourself, and please keep it under 3 minutes to allow for other people to speak. So is there any public comment?
I appreciate the time to speak. I'm Leslie Clark. I live in Canton, New York. I'm just here, I need to reiterate that the experience my family and my neighbor's family have had with nuisance barking noise from the No Dogs Left Behind Inc. business has had a serious negative impact on our lives. Some seem to accept comments from others that the barking is not an issue, and that may be their reality. It is not ours. I don't ever intend to tell others what their experience is. I trust that you as town board members and other members of other boards will not dismiss our experience. My neighbors and I live higher than the No Dogs business on a high ridge, like in a loft. It's geography, it's physics. The lay of the land can channel the sound, allowing it to travel great distances. I did a little bit of research. I don't think these are peer reviewed, but I'm just going to quote, because of that, in times of war, people close to the fighting often report that they cannot hear the sounds of the nearby battle, while others much further away provide accounts of having heard the din quite clearly. It is not uncommon for the same thing to happen with barking dogs. That's why people living 2 doors down may not even know the dog is barking, while people trying to rest in their living room 2 blocks away are driven insane by the noise. This was a revelation to me. Having a firm grasp of this concept is essential for judges, prosecutors, and all others involved in the adjudication of barking dog litigation. And I just want to say that there were comments made after the June 5th meeting, after the public left. One of the comments was, you know, there's one lady has had an issue with that since 1996, the barking at the previous kennel. That was referring to me. I'm that lady. Others knew who that was referring to. Then there was another comment that was made, and this is public. The next comment was along the lines of, you know, it's like if you move next to an airport, and then begin complaining that there's airport noise. And I guess I just want to make it clear that this is not what happened. The kennel had been there since what, 1976. We moved in 1984. There was no kennel noise at all when we moved in. There was a huge red dairy barn, you know, the huge 3-story long dairy barns that, you know, completely blocked and masked the kennel and noise from us. And literally the day that came down, this noise and living in this loft area, if you will, it became very, very stressful over the years. So I guess that what I really want to say is that saying comments like this really just serves to discredit and dismiss the ongoing concerns of me and my neighbors. I just, you know, hope that we can be more positive in terms of accepting people's realities. Thank you.
Thank you, Leslie. Any other public comment?
want to say that the audio, is very unclear on your meeting, on your Zoom meetings. Very difficult to understand what people are saying from the Zoom.
Can you say your name?
Margaret Mao,
Thank you.
33 Danes Road. Sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah, so if that could be improved, that would be great. I don't know how many of you take the time to look at the meetings a second time, but that would be helpful.
Okay.
That's it.
All right,
Until then,
thank you.
okay.
Any other public comment? Okay, with that being said, we'll move forward. County legislator representative update. I don't see any of our representatives here, and we haven't received anything from Mr. Hall. The next item is approval of minutes, special meeting 5/2/23 and regular meeting 6/14/23. Is there a motion? Second? Give a second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Carried. Correspondence. The first one is from the Jefferson County Department of Planning. We have been a member of the Home Consortium Municipality Group, and they are reauthorizing that again. It was, they want to reauthorize it from 2024 to 2026. A resolution is necessary, but I wanted the board to review that first. Not real sure what we get out of it, except being part of a group with the North Country Home Consortium. So that's the first one. The second one is from the St. Lawrence County Community Development Program. They are requesting support and funding from the town of Canton to continue operations of the Canton Neighborhood Center. And the third one is from the St. Lawrence County Board of Legislators, and what they would like us to do is help them celebrate on July 4th of 2026. It would be the 250th anniversary of the founding of the United States of America. They're asking me to appoint a local 250th anniversary committee composed of citizens and business people and educators to put together a series of events and activities, while also coordinating with the county-wide efforts to observe this once in a lifetime anniversary. So we'll be looking at that, but that is in 2026. Okay, those are the correspondence. Town finances report. You each have, Angela is not able to be here, but you each have been sent the report. You have copies in front of you. Any questions about it? If you look on the last page, the pink page, we continue to be healthy in a lot of areas. The one thing that we have done this past month is what we did last month. We returned Soul America's balance of escrow money to the tune of $51,509.40. This month, we returned the TJA Clean Energy escrow account money to the tune of $56,374.75. So as we move forward with the projects, you know that by law, we return what they gave us in escrow that's no longer needed. Having said that, we have set up a bank account for solar phase 2, and that's $15,000 for each company to work with Barton and Judas on the inspections. So we've received 2 so far on that. Any other questions? Because we're worthy to note that we did get the CHIPS money, POP, Pave New York, and EWS. You see those amounts, and it's on the agenda that we need to do a budget amendment so that it would match what we received. Or what's in the letter. There's still balances.
Yes.
Yes. So, okay, any questions on the finances? All right, great. Heidi, did you wanna?
I'll just do my report.
Okay, all right. So Heidi's information is in her report. Audit committee.
You ready, Heidi? Okay. Fund A, 35,915.50. Fund B, 7,345.63. VA, 10,314.22. DB, 26,190.64. Special fire, $4,588.83. Special lighting, $271.63. And trusted agency, $22,885.73, for a total of $107,512.18.
Is there a motion to approve the expenditure?
So.
Is there a second? All in favor, say aye. Carried. Okay, department reports. Megan Richardson, the Recreation Director, is not able to be here. She did email me and she wanted to add on to her report that summer programs have started for swimming and volleyball clinic. And the beach has been open, as we know. So that's Megan. Linda is not able to be here tonight, but it is noteworthy to say that her office will be closed the week of July 24th through 28th for a little vacation time. So that's Linda. So why don't we start with Heidi?
So the month of June was pretty busy. We brought in $4,513 and we mailed out and sent everything to the proper people. The town received $2,842.65 and state agencies received $1,670.55. So coming out to zero balance. I'm done collecting town and county taxes. I received my discharge collector from the county on July 3rd. So we collected just over $5 million at 93.56%, which is normal. I've been working with the code officer and the assessor and fulfilling FOIL requests. We've had a couple communication technology meetings. I just found out this afternoon before the meeting that our kickoff meeting with Revise and the website company will be on July 18th at 11. And at 10 o'clock on that day, we also have a meeting with the company to meet down here to discuss the Zoom meetings and people being able to hear us. So just wanted to talk about that. So we're working to try to make that better for everybody. And then okay, and then it's on the agenda for later, but I appointed a new deputy, Tasha Straight. She's a Canton resident. She started on June 27th and she's doing amazing. She's catching on to all the clerk programs very quickly, and I think she's gonna be a great asset to the town. So,
Welcome, Tasha. All right.
I think unless anybody has questions, I don't have anything else really.
Any questions from the board? All right. Stephen,
Yes.
would you like to go to the podium, please? Not really, but.
Everyone, my report is pretty short this month, but we did get, Marion said, our first CHIPS reimbursement is back already, so as soon as we get done around the paving, we'll be able to file for the rest of it and have that back. So we'll be cleaned up with that pretty early this year, a lot sooner than last year, getting all of our reimbursement money back. Jason Shaw, who was a heavy equipment operator at the highway department, he's turned in his resignation, and actually this past Monday, the 10th, was his last day on the job. He's pursuing his own business full-time, so we hated to see him go, but hard to hate someone for trying to better themselves. We're in the process of taking applications right now and trying to find a replacement for him. And crew's been very busy this last month with road work, trying to get ready for paving, get all that stuff done. I'd like to thank them for the dedication to their jobs. anybody has any questions.
Questions?
Might want to just add, your paving starts,
Possibly next week, not sure yet.
and so that people will know
Yeah.
the areas that you're gonna be paving in.
Yep, will be Irish Settlement Road, Finnegan Road, Potter Road, and Cowan. Should know by the end of this week if we are starting next week and what day. Nothing's been determined yet. The county paving foreman said he would be in touch this week with me towards the end of the week.
Okay. Thank you, Stephen. Lee, would you like to go?
So we're looking at consolidating funding applications. I think one of them is going to be mentioned later on the agenda, but potentially the reapplying for the local waterfront revitalization plan, and also the village is looking at possibly doing an application to the DEC water quality improvement program to do shoreline stabilization for another phase of the Little Island project. The only other grant we're looking at right now is the tree committee is interested in doing another grant for tree maintenance, and looking at our forest management plan that was recently done. There are several recommendations in there for removals and maintenance, and also looking at some training for the crew to continue the maintenance program. So we're looking at that in August. The village is still looking at fast charger options for a grant they received to do a fast charger to enhance what's already there on Hudson Street. The Willow Island project, the village approved the concept plan for Willow Island at the last board meeting. So we are working with consultants to do the design drawings for phase one, which includes the paved pathway, electrical, and depending on how the bids come back, possibly reconfiguring the parking and doing the placeholder for where toilets, which will probably be mobile or at least temporary units right now, the electric concrete pad will probably be in-kind work from DPW. So we're hoping to get that out for bid in August sometime, and still hoping to get the work done this fall, but we'll see how it goes. The minor street project, you accepted it, I think, or that's on the agenda as well for the drainage work to be done this fall.
We're just waiting on the contract for that. We accepted it at the last month's meeting. We're just waiting for the contract.
I did email Brooks about that to find out the status. He said they're doing a contract, so hopefully we'll have that soon. Yeah, that taken care of. The New York Main Street grant continues to progress. We're still struggling to find contractors. I'm going to prepare a press release and just put out there that we're still looking for contractors for a number of projects. Some of them have been put out 3 times and we got 0 bids on them, so it's frustrating. We are getting some for specialty work like roofing and HVAC type things, but the general construction stuff we're really struggling with. So still pushing. The secondary water source for the village, we need to do a NEPA, which is a federal environmental review for that. It's much more expensive than we had anticipated. Our engineer, we are under contract there. That was not part of the plan or the existing contract. So we're waiting for an estimate from him so we can move that forward. That's the first step that needs to be done there before we're going to proceed from the funders. Request for proposals for Stiles Avenue has been sent out. I'm already getting some interest in it. Talked to Stephen, there's at least one party that wants to come see the site next week as well. So it's good to see we're getting some interest on that. We have set up a project page on the website to make it easier for people who want to see more information about what some of these projects are. So that is live. It has the Canton Village projects there. Links to some of the materials. If there are more things that people want, they can always contact our office, but we thought that would make it a lot easier for people to access information. So that's up and running. The only other thing I would add is that we also launched the small business grant program for the village, just through the community development block grant program, COVID related program. So that is underway. We're getting some interest about that too. We haven't received any applications yet. We're receiving them on a rolling basis. We have a lot of money to give out, so we're gonna accept them as they come in. If they meet the eligibility requirements, and they will be reviewed, and we'll start getting them in. So, any questions?
I think the project, as part of our website, that's really good. Because there is so much,
There is.
and to explain it, it's like, oh, just go to the website, so
Right.
that's really good.
It's on the same page with all the plans and things like that, so they all kind of tie together. They can see the derivative of the projects.
And then, I just lost what I wanted to say.
The only other thing I will mention,
Oh, I have it now.
I think I put it in last month, the chamber integration vote is upcoming too. There's some public information sessions, I think the week of the 24th, and the vote is gonna happen then. So we need to be thinking both as the town and village about how you may want to work with the combined chamber. They're looking for to make contracts with individual communities about deliverables and what we'd like to see.
The RBAG, small loans,
Yes.
have you gotten any interest in that?
I have had some people contact me recently about starting businesses. We have sent a loan package out, a couple of loan packages out. We haven't gotten any back. But there has been some interest in it. But no complete applications yet at this time.
We're glad to say that we did have an applicant that had to get off their loan after many years, and we're glad that that all worked out for them. So right now, the town has 2 loans out. Everything's working well. So. The LWRP application, does that include the Willow Island piece?
That's not in the plan at this point.
Okay, that. you
I don't,
know, the
yeah, I
DEC.
think we're going to try to go with the stabilization piece. And that would work on, the DEC is a good fit for that, for the engineering and actually completing the shoreline stabilization work. That was recommended by the consultants as a good option. LWRP would have been a good option too, and will be for future phases. Maybe it's something we can look at next year. We have had more than one LWRP grant open at a time, and they do like to implement projects that they have paid for the planning for. So we'll continue to look for funding to keep that and other projects going. But the first, most important part is getting it activated.
Yeah. Any questions? What would our half be? I think it's 15% of the half, isn't it?
Actually, we are, when we wrote it 2 years ago, the first time we didn't get it funded, if we are part of an environmental justice community, we can ask for 85% and only have 15% match. And the state considers us a potential environmental justice area. So our consultants recommended that we ask for the 85%. We've never had a negative comment, and our feedback from when we don't get the grant, we do a debrief and they give us comments, and they've never said that we can qualify for that. So I have the numbers for you if you want to talk about them later, or I can look now.
Because we briefly touched upon it and recommended, but we didn't know any numbers, so.
I
that was the
went back
questions
to
that we
the
had.
consultants who gave us an estimate last year. They kept the cost the same. So my anticipation is that the application would be very similar to what we submitted last year. Looking back at what the comments were, we literally missed it by a couple of points. It's very frustrating. They told us they thought when they sorted that it was going to get awarded. So we'll look at what they suggested, maybe making some minor tweaks in a couple of sections, and they basically submitted the same. I have the numbers right here. If you'd like me to give them.
Let's do it.
Sure.
Yeah,
You know,
I think it's around 80,000. Yep.
Our grant request was for 81,986, and the total budget was 96,455. So the local match was 14,469. And that would be split between the town and village.
7,000. But again,
Again,
it's
it's
a
a-
reimbursement type of program, so we have to spend the money up front. But the MOU is, the village spends the money. Trying to remember this grant.
This one is probably split because it's for the LWRP, which is a shared document, and it incorporates the additional looking at the rec assessment stuff too. We've kind of written that in to be part of the update to LWRP. So my guess is that one would be split. And I think that's how it's written in the draft resolutions and then the section, so.
Numbers are approved in the budget purposes as well.
Again, this could vary, it would have to go out to a request for proposal, but this is what we're using to demonstrate how we arrive at the project number. It should be close to that.
Okay. So it is on the agenda later on, to see if the board supports it, and we have a joint meeting on the 26th, so we can certainly get your full support, pass those resolutions on the 26th. Would that give you enough time to get?
Well, the grant's still on the 28th, so it'll essentially be written by then, so hopefully, it'll be, we'll get support for doing it and persistent, because if we're proceeding in that way, we haven't put a lot of effort into it yet, but just wanted to make sure that.
But it's pretty much the same as what was submitted.
Yes,
Pretty
much the same.
weeks. Yeah.
twice now. We changed it a little last year. 2 years ago, it was focused more on the rec assessment. Last year, we added in the update to the LWRP and built the assessment into that as part of the update.
Mhm.
So it would be very similar to last year. Almost exactly the same.
Okay, thank you. All right, Mike, you want to go?
Sure.
What are you doing?
I was told to keep my hand on the box.
Oh,
Can't hear when you do go past.
all right. Speak right into that microphone, Mike.
Good evening. Couple items through the month of June. Issued 17 building permits for the town of Canton. Roughly about 493,000. Cost of projects, about $1,300 in the building. A couple of those projects were 2 new homes, one on the Pollock Road and one on State Highway 68 going towards Cole. They are both preliminary started with foundation work. I also attended the Farm Prior Tour that was sponsored by EDF. There's only 4 of us that went. It was very interesting. The point to see a solar array that is 15 years old, active, with sheep grazing on it. The nice thing was, the most we got out of it was from the maintenance man. Because he was a man on the site all the time. Couple things different from New York State and Canada. Instead of keeping the fence 6 inches off the ground for endangered species, small animals and stuff like that, they buried it in the ground due to the coyotes, and they put culvert pipes or holes in the ground like every 20 feet so the small animals and endangered species can go through. But it was nice to see. I mean, it's much smaller than the EDF project that's anticipated for Canton, but it gives you an idea.
How many acres?
300 acres. 300 acres, 2 sites, site A and site B.
Bees were at one, sheep at the other.
No, both.
They're both
Yeah.
together.
The sheep grazer moved the sheep every day, in the 2 acre lots. The one question I asked him, I said, if you were in this process from the beginning, what would you do? He said, I'd have water source at 4 spots, because what he was doing was running to the shop, filling up the tanker, taking it, on a 4-wheeler. But if you had water right there, you can just run a hose and like, that was his biggest thing with the water. Other than that, it seems to work for him. I did receive 3 site plans for 3 of our projects that have been approved. I worked on 2, Route 11 and County Route 27, because they have supplied with me mostly with all the paperwork we need. The other one was Mead Road, which they haven't supplied me. So I would like to report, that I gave Heidi a check Monday for one of the solar array projects, and that was paid for. So it's,
And how much was that?
that one was a 5 megawatt, so it was 50,000. And Heidi's system works. We made sure that I label it commercial solar and she puts it in the system. Other than that, I'm working on Mead Road project, reviewing those plans. Seeking calls, unfortunately, about another site, which I have not received plans on yet, but probably within the next couple of weeks. There'll be 2 sites, site east and west. East and west.
Need explanation. I mean, that site was looked at 6 months ago, and we were of the understanding that there was no grid potential there to site it, so that developer pulled up.
I
And the
mentioned
grid
that.
was saturated.
Correct. I mentioned that to the developer more than once. Are they paying for the upgrade on the substation? I don't know. But yeah, that was mentioned to the developer and the engineer, that we had a developer that was gonna go in there, but since there wasn't enough.
So it's potentially 2.5 meg.
2.5 meg, just, any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Cindy?
Hi, good evening. I did something a little different this time in my report. I gave you a copy of the sales analysis report for the year. That's our calendar year. And from that sales report, that's just the residential sale. And from that report, that's where we do our analysis for the equalization rate for the next roll. So always a year behind, but that's when we use the dates. And I just wanted you guys to give a look at this and see where the sales were coming in and what the assessed value was at the time of the sale. So you can see, if you really give a look at it, you can see what's been going on here in the town of Canton, the village. And then I gave a breakdown as far as the median value goes, and as you can see in the entire town, we're looking at 69.74%, and probably gonna be another drop next year. And that's just the residential, and we look at the commercial and the vacant land sales as well. And it's probably gonna be another 4 or 5 points. That's what we're probably looking at this time. So that won't be decided till, next year and everything right now. I've been going out data collecting, and I had company this month. Sorry if I made you nervous driving, but I didn't put my car in park. I had my foot on the brake. Car park, okay. But yeah,
It was
good.
very interesting. The process is very interesting.
Yeah, it's a lot to it. I mean, you go down the street, you take the pictures, you write your notes, you go back, you load the pictures into RPS and print them out and in color down in Heidi's office. And then you come back and write your notes and staple all the property record cards that are in the file together. And then I've been cleaning the folders as well. There's a lot of old exemptions that are in the folders still, so I'm I'm pulling those out, so by the end of the year, I will have that in order, Heidi. It'll be all documented, so we can get that straight upstairs. Also, let's see, there was a problem with the final roll. It was printed and it came back at the county, they had a problem. Some of the exemptions from the tentative roll didn't carry over to the final roll, and we have to reprint. So we're in the process of doing that now. So what's up there, don't look at it, we're gonna be removing it tomorrow. And they're reprinting the final roll down at the county right now. At least they caught it before we issued the tax bill, because that would have been a nightmare. So at least they caught it. And I guess that was it. Anybody have any questions?
Any questions? How many parcels do we have? 3,900?
39.
So a lot of the.
3977. It
3,009.
goes up because it's people that take their property and they split it, you know, so that it goes up a lot. And then if it's new construction, you know,
Yeah,
that gets added in.
but to update all those files. I
Yeah.
mean, there's pictures in those files from the 70s, you know, Polaroids.
Yeah, black and white.
So,
That 3977, is that just town outside, does that include the village?
no, that's every parcel.
That
Yeah,
includes it all?
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah, both
everybody.
villages and,
Yeah.
the town. Yeah, it's a lot, it's a
Yeah.
lot. And we
Right.
appreciated the county helping with it as well, but,
Yeah, she's been busy. There were 3 towns that did a reval, so she was out there helping them. Well, 2 of them, the city of Ivansburg had a contractor. And by the way, they're going at 100%. Yeah, so everything went through, even with the amount of changes that came in for them. So,
okay, thank you, Cindy, appreciate it. So I need a motion to accept the department reports. I'll second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Say aye. All right, carried. Committee reports. Who'd like to start?
So the sustainability committee did not meet this month at all. We are trying to come up with a date for the waterfronts, committee to meet. And one of the items that we talked about is the looking at the grant. So we have that. And economic development committee was yesterday, day before yesterday, Monday, for everybody else, day before yesterday, and that conversation was more, yes, generally, that, talking about local support. And support local organizations, not just from a payroll perspective, but
And then we also, one of the things that they wanted me to bring up, softball at least hold for me, was talking about the contract with the county chamber. I know we talked about the issues with the town, or village, I'm sorry, and so the village has a copy of the contract that was sent to them by the county chamber. It's pretty generic right now, so you kind of almost have to do it yourself. But you put in what you want to happen. This is just a template thing, and thought it might be worthwhile if the village and town kind of work in cooperation, see if they could do something along those lines. So I wanted to throw it out there as, some kind of discussion, so.
So the town did fund the chamber for many, many years, and then it was discontinued for a variety of reasons. The village, I believe, kept it in their budget. We discontinued it the years ago.
So that's one of the things, especially budget season, they wanted maybe to discuss whether the town would be interested in what's this budget season again, to do anything with the county See if it's different than what we had before.
But the vote hasn't taken place yet for the,
So I believe it's July 25th.
okay,
For the membership, Canton Chamber membership, and then I believe the county chamber also has to vote. But if they're both approved, then, documentation has to be submitted to the state with merger or acquisition, or not exactly, not merger. But we're thinking about, when, particularly for the town, when you're in budget season, the village does have in their budget, but we will be entering into a contract with the chamber with specific deliverables about what we want, reporting, how it's gonna be paid, the timeline, all of that. So there's a lot more detail. But since we have a joint group and a joint committee, we feel, we wanted to see how the town felt about it, because you did discontinue support for a couple of years, I think maybe 2 years, that's been 2 years now. To see now with this new model, if you might want to re-engage with them, and then you should be do as a purchase. And then we could work on developing those deliverables together, and making sure all any events or things that we want to see covered can all be done collaboratively. So that was the thought, just bring it up now and start that conversation.
well, I wanted-
So what was the rationale for us to drop them?
there were no deliverables being delivered.
That's good. Okay.
That-
Just so that we know.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
so that we have some sense.
you know, we weren't getting what we were investing, you know, and I believe the issue was how much money the chamber did have at the time. So the need wasn't really clear, at the time. So, because I do believe they have some funding that'll, if it all goes through, it'll go under the umbrella of the county, right? And then,
I believe
you know,
they
so we
will,
were,
whatever the Canton Chamber has now will stay in its own account.
right,
So the idea is that there will be a halftime person at the county chamber who will be doing Canton work halftime. Their other halftime will be doing countywide, and that way, Canton will also get the halftime of all of the staff there, or full-time with some of the staff. And all of the expertise that's at the staff, whether it be marketing, economic development, membership, whatever it is. Canton will benefit from all of that. But there will also be a halftime person specifically dedicated to Canton. We'll have our own board, I believe, still too, and representation on the. But that the financing that comes from Canton will stay in its own account.
So when you said can't, the entire town get approved.
I don't know how it is right now. I think chamber is townwide. I believe.
So, and when we're designing this, the deliverables in, make sure that we not only cover the village, but we also cover the town. So that's one of the,
Right, right.
that's one of the things we talk about in our.
Yes, but I
What's up?
think that the chamber, the new model of the chamber countywide wants to contract with individual communities. So, and the money comes from different businesses, right? But I think it makes sense for us to work together to make sure that all of the deliverables that both the town and village want to see happen.
Because the contract they sent right now is pretty opaque contract, expecting the different communities to come up with their own deliverables that they want to see for themselves. So our deliverables might be different than Messina's, it might be different than Ogdensburg's, you know. So, and what came up in the discussion was that if the town's interested, it might behoove us to have a village and town working in cooperation to come up with deliverables that we're looking for.
was there any discussion about the village concert box? Being included?
I'm not sure if the chamber has reached out to them or not.
So we're talking townwide,
Oh, I hear
they're
you.
part of our town, right?
No, I didn't.
But again,
Didn't want to be-
they, I don't know how, I mean, I would expect that maybe the county chamber would want a contractor for the defensive goals.
The other issue was, we requested budgets. We never got that information, so. Okay,
Did you say that again, requested?
in the past, we've requested budgets, as part of deliverables. It's like, okay, what's your budget?
For the Canton chamber.
Right. Yeah, so. Okay.
Now, so far is Potsdam the only community that really hasn't signed on to this idea?
I believe the only community that has their own chamber, or a staffed chamber. I believe so. Right now, it's Ogdensburg and Messina, I believe, have agreed to or voted to merge. And Canton's the only other one at this time.
All right, other committee reports.
Highway committee met, discussed the work projects that we're doing, Steve already mentioned. Talked about equipment needs, future equipment needs. Stephen was working on some ideas on what he would like in terms of equipment. And we discussed, now that we have that Michael's is vacated, we were talking about what the use is going to be for the existing building. One of the issues, main issue there is heating. Stephen's been in touch with Liberty, and we can get natural gas to the building. We're just gonna decide what we're gonna do. Redoing the heating, that's it, inside it. The hookup, what was the hookup? Liberty was in $1,300.
19,
1,900.
somewhere it is.
Which the committee was, we can go ahead and do that. And then we'll work with,
Met with two contractors to look at the heating system, try to find a third one, so.
Well, I know one neighbor's really happy that sand pile is going down.
Yes,
Karen Lake is very happy, and, another neighbor is glad that the traffic has,
subsided.
yeah, so.
Erin said she's lived there since 1992, and this will be the first time she's ever been able to open her windows. And not have sand below in the house.
So that's a good thing. All right, any other committee reports?
Yeah, I was at the Complete Streets, Monday night. Couple of things to report, got the bike hookups for the meters, they got 6 of them. Right, 6 of them, they're gonna have hooked up. They're still looking for a site for the covered bike kiosks. They've had some different sites, they haven't worked out, they're still working on that. So they're still going through those, looking for those, places to go. That's, it's been grant funded, and they want to find a site for it. Also, doing the Court Street pop-up, with the painting and crosswalks, and done with a bunch, student organizations from Clarkson did a study, and tentative dates for that are September 16th and 17th, with an alternate date September 23rd and 24th. They're gonna they've done a really a lot of work on it, and so they've got 2 days laid out where they'll set up bike trails across, bike paths on the sides, crosswalks. It's going to be on Court Street, for a piece of Court Street. As far as my understanding, what I had, it's going to be the first one of these pop-up projects that's actually done in the North Country, and other places. So
Was there something just on the news about, Potsdam, Clarkson just did one over there? Right, who's big down there? So.
they did do one.
Haven't done them because the earlier stages of planning, I believe, we are further on.
Yeah, she said that it was done in Rochester, they did one in someplace else.
St. Lawrence County Health Initiative is interested in using the model that we're developing for other locations. Potential for the evaluation of changes to the highway
is an important ingredient. Health initiative has been incredibly helpful.
The last meeting, Toby, you brought up the, that issue with motorized bicycles, electric motorized bicycles. Are they just gonna be determined a bicycle, like a,
It's an unlicensed motorized vehicle. My knowledge, there's been no state action to put any kind of regulation or licensing on those. It's a little bit wild, wild west at this point. You may remember a year and a half ago, there was a talk about using the scooters in the village. There was a company that wanted to run the electric scooters. This is a step worse than that because they're faster and bigger and helmets and requirements. None of that has been in place, to my knowledge.
but if the bicycle is motorized, still by law, need a helmet, I would think.
It's not licensed.
It's not licensed,
I think.
but neither is a bicycle.
True. So I don't know where that falls. I mean, Albany hasn't been forthcoming on that.
So it's just another vehicle that's out there, like side by sides that are not.
That's the UTV problem. Can a UTV use the roads? Should it, can it, does it? We have the problem in the village where it's been reported that people are riding on the sidewalk.
That's where I heard the issues that they're going up and down the sidewalks with these motorized bicycles at
Yeah.
30 miles, 40 miles an hour. Scoot right along. Actually exceed the speed limit in the road. But they're on the sidewalk.
Oh, okay.
Okay, thank you, Toby.
Any other committee reports? All right, great. Thank you, everybody, for all that work. Old business, 64 Main Street. So we, the mayor, as a result of our last joint meeting, the mayor and I were charged with the task of putting out an RFP for the demolition of McDonald's. So that, that draft has been created and will be going out. And as soon as I get a copy, I will forward it to the board. We're looking at the end of August to receive the bids for it as well. So if you want to spread the word that it's out there, or will be out there, and they can contact the village to get a copy of it. So, okay, the housing fund. Again, this was from last month. Again, we have a balance of $46,939.46. We tabled it due to some concerns from Bob Santamore, and so I'm gonna keep it on the agenda until we make some decisions on it. Again, it's been 13 years that we've had this money, and we need to do something with it. Again, there's no records of where it came from. Me and I were part of all that, and so I don't know, Eric, if you had a chance to look at what Bob brought.
Before he does, can I add something? Because I just found it here, like, this morning. In this, from Jefferson County Planning Department, from that,
The housing.
Right.
For the solution.
it's the same time frame that money was given to us. So if you guys would indulge me, I'd like to be able to call Jefferson County Planning to see if they know anything about this. That, I mean, I know it's on the month, but I guess I'd rather be sure.
I have no problem with that.
Yeah, go for it. All right, because it's one of the items on this actual resolution, so.
All right,
It's good if you're gonna keep that on there. For something happens. Would you include the lighting money that we talked about?
yes, we're sitting on some
For
lighting
last-
money with the
For
same
the last
problem.
12 years. I can't get an answer to it.
We don't know how that'll happen. It has been recommended for me, Angela, we could just put that in the, we can just transfer that. Because nobody's come looking. Yeah, so let's talk about that at budget time.
I talk about it every year at budget time. Why do I need to talk about it again at budget time?
I guess you need to
Okay,
We
thank
need
you.
to talk about it so that we can take care of it.
That's it.
Okay, the joint town and village board meeting is scheduled for July 26th. If you have any items, please forward them to me so that when the mayor and I do the agenda, we'll go from there. Possibly the chamber issue we could put on.
I would like.
Okay, if you could just email me that. If you have any other items. We did get a request from the sustainability chair, Kathy Schrady, to do a brief presentation on the Eco Adapt report as well. So I think those are the only two items at this point. Okay, the St. Lawrence
So we want.
LWRP.
and the LWRP. I don't think it's gonna be a problem.
Let's cut it off, we're close for you though.
Need resolutions, though. It's, I mean, if it gets signed and approved, and I can attach it to an application by 24 o'clock.
Is it the recommendation of the rec committee and the ED committee that we move forward on this?
It is from recreation.
Okay. So there you go. Okay, so we'll put that on. I need you to make sure that that's part of it too. Okay, St. Lawrence Health Initiative Sun Policy. You have the draft. It really needs some work if we're gonna move forward. We were, the village already passed theirs, but in reading this, I would like somebody to work with me to possibly reword this, because some of this stuff doesn't make sense to me. But is there general support that we do the sun policy to prevent cancer, skin cancer? And then we have, because if we do a policy, then there might be some funding that they can get us supplies, right? Like, you know, lotion and that type of thing. But some of the stuff in here, I was like, you know, I don't know that I need to spend my time teaching somebody how to put on suntan lotion. So,
No, but if we do make it a policy, I would look at maybe there, I don't expect it to come out of the men's pockets.
no,
So,
no, but they would buy, my understanding is if we pass a policy, they would provide that stuff for us.
that's what I'm saying, I want to make sure that's the case.
So you want to work on this with me?
Sounds like to me.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Sounds like a volunteer.
See? Yeah, Angelina Blank, she's the Cancer Prevention Action Coordinator. There you go, John. Okay.
Well done, well done.
Okay, number 5, the 2023 budget amendment. I'll be bringing that back as a resolution. You know, we did accept the bid for Sheehan Contracting for the amount of $355,700, but we need to amend the budget. Again, we don't know when that's gonna start or when it's gonna finish, but we will have to take that money out of fund balance to pay for that in order to put in for reimbursement for the grant.
It'll finish
I
before
thought we were
November.
gonna use the chip reimbursement.
We can talk about that.
It'll finish this calendar.
What's that?
year. It'll finish this calendar year.
Yeah.
Mid-November was the cutoff. We said.
Yeah, so I'm just thinking of cash flow. Yes. And I don't know in the contract if it's gonna be a piecemeal billing or if it's gonna be, okay, we're done, give us the money, right? So we have to keep track of all that information in order for Lee to put in for the reimbursement of that, so.
Is there any chance, time-wise? This contractor might wanna be able to do something before our next meeting?
Well, we gotta wait for the contract to sign.
Well, but we get the contract, and that contract can show up next week,
Yeah,
the week after, whatever. Is this something that, for our joint meeting, I mean, how much is there to do to get this approved? It's just something that.
well, I think the board, you've already approved the bid, so it's just a
Yeah, we
matter
approved the
of,
bid, so-
so when the contract comes, you just send it to Eric real quick, and then I can sign off on it. You've already approved it, but this is to amend the budget, for payments, so. So I think,
So.
I think once we get it, I can just sign,
Yeah, okay,
yeah. 'cause we've
yeah,
already-
we're not gonna pay. Yeah, we've already jumped to it earlier.
Right, want to see what the contract is as far as payments. If it's gonna be piecemeal or just a one shot. But we gotta amend the budget anyways, take the money out of the fund balance, which all the state money is already gone in. Okay. All right, number 6, resubmission of, you saw that. Resubmission, we've already talked about this. Everybody's in agreement that we want to resubmit. You in agreement?
Yes.
Okay, so thank you, Lee, for all that work, and we'll put that on the agenda for the joint meeting. All right, new business, 1, 2, and 3 has been tabled. Number 4, set public hearing for proposed anaerobic digester law. So, you know, we talked about this last month, so I'm gonna open it up to Eric, Jim, and just give us an update if you will.
So Mary, we committee met, we considered some of the comments that we got, those changes, sent them for the board review.
Everybody got that and reviewed it? And so, you wanna set a public hearing for the August meeting?
I would move that.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? So what we'll need is just, in order to get the, we'll do it at 5:45? Good for everybody? Okay, so we'll just need the legal notice and the updated law, so that we can get it into the newspaper. And so we'll hold a public hearing at 5:45 next month. Okay, the next item is the budget amendments. There are, let me just do this one. So, Heidi. Resolution? Okay, all right, so y'all received the resolutions. The first one is to amend the budget for the CHIPS, Pave New York, EWR, and POP monies. So now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Canton amend the 2023 budget as follows. Under revenue, Pave New York at 76,280.68, EWR at 66,206.49, POP money, I didn't say pot, I said POP. At 50,853.79. In CHIPS, we need to we've already have that in the budget, so we need to increase the budget line by 39,555.96. So the total that we have received in reimbursement is 232,896.92. Is there a motion?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, and there are balances, and Stephen has done a fantastic job in getting that money. So thank you, Stephen. The next one is we have to do a budget amendment for the joint purchase of 64 Main Street with the Village of Canton. Now therefore be it resolved, the Canton Down Board authorizes to increase the budget revenue line by 32,853.88 and increase the special items expense line by 7,409.19 to cover the town share of the purchase of 64 Main Street. Is there a motion?
So.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Carry. We used, the ARPA money. So there might be an error in this. I said federal FEMA funds, that should say ARPA. Instead. My error. Okay. So, do we need to do another motion for that change?
It was excellent.
We're good? Okay, great. The next item is to acknowledge the resignation with regret and appreciation of heavy equipment operator Jason Mishaw, effective 7/10. Jason has been with us 4 years, and it's a big loss to the department. As per contract, we do need to do a payout of his accrued time to the total of $3,715.13. He had 91 hours of comp time, 29 hours and 25 of vacation time, and he had 17 0.5 hours of personal leave. So the total is $37.15.13. His hourly rate was $26.97. So in order to make this payout, we need a formal action by this board. Is there a motion?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, and this will happen on payroll 15, and Jason's fully aware of that. Okay, the next item is NIPA cost settlement agreement to the tune of $119,663.49. This is through the New York State Power Authority. Stephen worked with them on coming up with the figures for that. And so the municipalities that have signed, that are signing off are us and Madrid, and that the county got some money. But this was because of the road usage. I'll put it that way. Eric, you had reviewed this and it's all in order? I'm sorry?
I don't think I've seen you do that.
Oh, I thought I had sent that to you. So I will send this down to you. So it's the NIPA agreement. Is everybody okay that if Eric approves it, that we can just sign it and within 20 days we'll get the money? So they say. That's what they said.
I want to say Stephen worked hard on this because they tried to lowball us and he didn't give up. He was tenacious and he got us to this figure. So I just want to say, job well done, Stephen.
I'm just gonna say it was a
We're
process.
not taking the first off. I know, he worked hard on it.
Well, the actual figures are, you know. And when he was working on it, we were talking, I'm like, is that all? I'm like, don't want more. So,
They tried to lowball.
yeah.
Yeah.
So is,
I just say compared to other municipalities, he did good. Yes, he did.
I think the county got 800,000. And Madrid, I asked, he didn't respond. I wanted to know how much Madrid was getting.
You know what a couple of the other towns got.
Oh, you do? We'll share later, I guess. All right, so is everybody in agreement if Eric approves this?
Yes.
Okay, so we should probably do a formal motion to sign this pending Eric's approval.
I formally move.
Well, you didn't even finish. You formally move what?
To approve this, to approve the cost settlement agreement.
Pending Eric's
With my
approval. All right, so we have a first and a second to get that, Heidi. All right, any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right. We did try to get some language change, but that didn't work. And apparently, Mr. Steve Button wrote these, so. Yeah. Okay. Which is interesting. All right. So we already, Heidi already introduced Tasha, but let's acknowledge her again. Tasha, welcome to the town of Canton. Get your seatbelts on. That's all I can say. Okay. All right. The next item is the host community benefit agreement for US Light Energy for the Mead Road. So we have actually two of them on the agenda. The first one is the resolution of the town board for the town of Canton authorizing the supervisor to execute a host community benefit agreement with New York USLE Canton Mead LLC. You all have gotten a copy of the resolution.
Yes.
So is there a motion that the supervisor is authorized and directed to execute a host community benefit agreement? Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions or discussion?
And they checked all the boxes, right?
This is part of it, part of the list.
I have no bond, no escrow agreement, no operating maintenance agreement, no operating, they're like separation.
That's why, I mean, I have plans, I've been going through them, but I just,
This company, Bill.
Yes. Yeah. Is Bill still on?
I think that's still.
Oh, hi, Bill.
Hello there.
Is there anything that you would like to add to this particular resolution discussion?
Sorry, Marianne, I did not hear the question. Can you repeat it, please?
This is the same type of resolution that we've done with the other ones. Is there anything that you want to add about this resolution for the host community benefit?
No, ma'am. It's exactly the same as the other host community benefit agreements, same amounts multiplied by the size of the project with the same revenue streams. It's exactly the same.
Okay.
So it's gonna be the same on the pilot agreements also then, Bill?
That's correct.
No, I mean, that. This is a standard, it's the same, the pilot agreement's really the same as the other, you know, it's gonna amount to the. We got the numbers wrong.
So we have a motion. Randy and John. Motion is second. Any further discussion on this resolution? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Carried. All right, the next one is the pilot consent resolution. With the same company, US Light Energy, B Road. You all received a copy of that. So this. Same as the others, you know, the IDA negotiating that, and everything's in order. So is there a motion to pass this resolution, the pilot consent resolution? Second? Second, Tom? Any further discussion? Again, Bill, this is the same type of structure, same language as the others.
Same.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay. So that's next one is the pilot agreement for the Grass River Solar Company. Now this one took a little turn. So what the IDA sent us is the change in the structure of the pilot. They wanted to flip the 15 years where the agreement, the larger amount starts year one, and then it goes down. Whereas all the other agreements are opposite. And then the escalator, I think, in that. So when this came in, you know, I met with Mike and I said, well, what is this? And, you know, I'm wondering why it was changed, that it was flipped, that we did. I mean, believe you me, I'd like the money, more money up front the first year than the 15th year, but what about the escalator piece, Bill?
I had a conversation with counsel for the developer about this. And I believe that they inverted the schedule to increase the profitability in the out years, which, you know, it has a beneficial effect for the town because we get the money more quickly, sooner. So I don't see any basis for objecting to that structure. It's beneficial to the town.
Okay. Any questions on that?
Yeah, just one. Bill, the net, I assume did they reverse the net present value cash?
Well, it's right.
Normally that's the escalator plus.
They reversed the instead of it de-escalating, it's escalating. So they simply reversed the schedule.
So we're schedule payouts in here, so for them, they just,
Yeah.
it just go the other, just start at year 15 and back up.
Right. They just reversed it.
And this won't start until 2025. So the first year, the school will get 17,843.54. The county will get 67,86.88. And we get 22,05.61. And then the chargebacks is $450.79. Those chargebacks, I don't know, I don't get that part, but
Goes to the county.
it goes to the county, yeah. But again, the school is the biggest benefactor, and I guess that's a good thing, so. All right, is the board okay with that structure being flipped? Did you say you're okay with
Yes, I
that?
said that was okay with that.
Oh, okay. Everybody else good with that? Well, all right, is there a motion to sign this pilot agreement with Grass River Solar? Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? We will, after this month, be closing out their escrow account and returning those funds as well. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay, there we go. The next item is the Barley Appraisal Group, letter of engagement. At the advice of Eric, that we need to get an appraisal for the Holiday Inn Express. This will be through Michael Barley at the cost of $5,500. So I need approval to sign off on this so that we can get that done. Is there a motion? This will come out of Cindy's contractual, so there'll be a little bit of a bubble there that we'll look at, but I don't know if I should make the motion since I'm signing it. Okay, any further discussion or questions?
I know in the past, when we've had to do large appraisals like this, we approach the school district and approach system in the payment. And successfully doing that. I mean, it's going to be after the fact if we go ahead and prove this now, but I know large ones, you know, this is town government paying all of the fee for appraisal, and we get the very least amount of tax revenue from it. Now, just as these pilots will show you that, you know, the county's getting 50% of it, and so we're, because we are the assessing unit, we're stuck with it, but I know in large ones where we had to actually hire an appraiser this kind of money, we have had success in engaging the school district and the village. County, not gonna happen.
When would the appraisal take place?
Pardon?
Well, the process, Eric, you want to speak to the process?
Well, the issues include
No.
Okay, so we did have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Is there any opposing? Did everybody say aye?
Good.
Did you say aye?
I did not.
Okay, so,
I have a question before I go.
oh, all right.
Is this the only appraisal group that we approached? Or were others approached to give us an estimate of the?
We tried to find other appraisers and the village used this one for McDonald's, so we went with this one. We couldn't find any other ones. But
What you did,
again, maybe this is something we should discuss in executive session.
I think more comfortable table.
me too.
table it till after executive session. Okay.
Somebody want to remove the motion? Was there a motion? Who made the motion?
Writing it.
You want to withdraw your?
I have Brady first and Bob second.
I'll remove my second. So-
Okay, all right, so we'll wait on that.
Yes.
Okay, all right, the next item is board, that's why you guys speak up there. Board of Assessment Review appointment. I was approached by Julie Parkman. She's very interested in serving the town in some capacity. And, you know, we do have a seat open on the Board of Assessment Review as well as the zoning. And she's very interested in serving on the bar. I met with her for about an hour. Cindy followed up. And so she's continuing to wanna join the bar. So I'm making a motion of this appointment of Julie Parkman to the Board of Assessment Review for a 5-year term. Is there a second? Any discussion? Questions? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Carries. All right, the next item is the return of the JCAP grant funds. When I was doing the bills, auditing the bills, I noticed that the court put in that they have to pay back $420 of this grant because there was some chair issues. In the grant, it said they were gonna buy so many chairs. Well, they bought less chairs for the same amount of money. The state didn't like that, so now we need to return $420 of JCAP funds, but it will come out of the court's contraction. So I need a motion to be able to do that.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
I
Carried.
just send it to
Just send them a check. Well, we gotta have it on record there. Okay, so the last item is public comment. Again, this is a time for the board to listen. Is there any public comment?
Margaret Mount, 33 James Road. Mike, for 2 months now, you failed to mention the fact that there was a notice of violation sent to No Dogs Left Behind. They started work on March 1st. They started their use on March 1st. The notice of violation was sent on May 23rd. There are multiple errors on the notice. The deadlines on the notice have passed. It said to arrange for the correction of the above stated violations within a 10-day period commencing from the date of this notice, which was June 2nd. And upon receipt, contact this office to arrange for an inspection prior to the inspection date of June 22, 2023. It also mentioned that an inspection had been done. I don't know if any of this has come to fruition or what is happening. It says in the code that you should say in this letter that there are consequences for being in violation, and that was not included in the letter. And there are penalties in the code, and nothing's been done. So you have a business operating since March 1st that we're all aware of, and there's no consequences for it. So last month, it was mentioned that there were 4 work without permit issued. And one of those wasn't mentioned as No Dogs Left Behind. So another month has gone by. And I'm just wondering what's going on with this. There needs to be some follow-up. So also, the code enforcement officer has received 3 town code violations pertaining to kennels and the requirement that the animals be inside a totally enclosed building between the hours of 8 p.m. and 7 a.m. I made those complaints. These complaints require that a visit be made to see if all the dogs can be humanely kenneled inside that building. And there are minimum space requirements for dogs under the Animal Welfare Act. That is the way that should be investigated, not to stop by and have Barry tell you that 6 of his dogs were barking. I find it insulting that I can't tell the difference between 6 dogs barking and numerous other dogs barking. So as far as I'm concerned, the type of investigation that needs to be done has not been done. The first kennel code complaint was made on May 25th. The other 2 were made on June 5th and June 23rd. So the other comments that I wanted to make had to do with the zoning, which was tabled. Is that tabled because the committee didn't meet?
We have some more work to do.
More work to
Margaret,
do.
Yes.
Are the committee meetings public?
There's no requirement.
There are no, you heard Eric.
No, I didn't hear Eric.
The committee meetings are not required to be public.
We're working on it, Margaret.
Okay.
We're working on it. It's a lot of work, so.
Oh, since I brought that up at the last meeting, can comments be made? I mean, concerning the code?
Well, we received your comments last month, right, regarding the zoning code, so that's on record and being considered.
So what about other issues specific to the code,
To the proposed code,
to the draft code,
you have more than what you submitted last
Well,
month.
I have a question.
Not sure we can answer it, but go
Okay.
ahead.
So Maple Ridge Kennel has been in operation since 1976. And the town of Canton zoning code of 1997 grandfathered the kennel into the code. Under the adopted code, it was listed as a special use, and now under the draft code, it is permitted. Okay. So I'm wondering why, when shelters, rescues, and animal daycares are listed as permitted and not special use, because these have never been a part of the code before. And I'm just wondering, what is the explanation for this when there has been no previous experience with these as land uses in the town of Canton? And I'm just wondering why they don't need special use permits. I mean, I understand why the kennel is permitted, because there's been experience with it. But I'm just wondering why the new ones were automatically placed under a permitted use. That's it.
Okay, thank you. That's been noted. All right, thank you. Any other public comment? With that being said, I'm making a motion to go into executive session for personnel and for litigation. A second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Thanks, everybody, for coming. Okay, we'll go upstairs.